That's Fisher, signed, sealed and delivered to school for another day. That's a lovely feeling of accomplishing something as a team. It starts with the nanny. She's the one who goes into his room and wakes him up. And then apparently she will give him a wash, get him dressed into his uniform. And then she sort of dribbles the ball downstairs to the kitchen. And then she'll make him his breakfast and pack his satchel. And then she tells me then it's a long ball upstairs to Mrs. Tripollin's bedroom, to his mum's room. And that's important, that sort of contact. Mrs. Tripollin's hand apparently comes out from under the duvet and they have a lovely moment. Just from the way that she holds him, he knows that she's sending him a lot of love and a lot of strength for the day. And then the ball is passed on to me. And I streak down the wing with him, shimmying all the way, get to the school, shoot, goal! I'm not saying I'd kick him. Actually, if anybody's going to do any kicking, it's more likely to be him, because at the moment he's under a lot of pressure, the poor little thing. And I don't know the cause of it, but something is pushing him down, and the only way he can react, as we all would, is with anger. And he let out last week on Thursday a string of obscenities directed at me. I mean, horrible stuff. Something you would hear in an American, like, it was like being in Goodfellas. It was good little fellas with him, because he's a little tiny little chap. I do have that over him, physical height. Although I'm more than aware that's not going to last. Good morning, it's Keith from Mrs. Tripollin. Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. Take a while sometimes. Good morning. Could you open the... Thank you. My meetings with my little smashers at the motorway services have gone swimmingly well. We've had 4 so far, 3 westbound, 1 eastbound, 3 eastbound coming to London for them, and then they were very kind. They agreed to 1 westbound, so they pulled off, went round the overpass and back to the other side. I think to make it easier for me, and just to ring the changes. I could sit an exam now on my boys. I could sit an exam. What are they into? All right, I can tell you. They're into hip-hop and rap. Simple as that. They're trainers. They love trainers. They've got the ones with all the lights on them and the funny laces that they don't actually do the laces up. They adore trainers. I mean, every visit we've had, I can honestly say they've not taken their eyes off their trainers. The next step now almost here. This is a big one now with Melanie at the SS. This is where I go with Melanie. She'll be with me all the time, and I sit in front of the board and we talk through how things are going with me, specifically with an eye on stress, because I think that's their concern, is how I will react to stress. I think I'm on top of it. I think that stress and I have become friends. We're on good terms. And I can't stress that enough. I've invested in this. This is monitoring my heart rate right now, so that I can learn how to keep it down and thus keep my stress down. I mean, this has actually been done for years and years by the Indians. The old fuckers. That's very nice. I mean, I am staying very still. I won't be able to be like this when I'm actually with the board. I think they'd smell a rat. I don't think she's going to come out of her own volition, so I will do it. I will do it, I will do it, I will do it, I will do it, I will do it. There was a thing on the television last night called Employers from Hell. I couldn't relate to it. I love working for the Tripolins, although I've yet to meet Mr. Tripolin. Still not met him. It's incredible. His air miles must be phenomenal because he's never here. He's off raising money for his films, but that's all right. I'm very happy with Mrs. Tripolin. I mean, she is a dream lover employer. She and I have a hoot, a real hoot. That's one of her words. Mondays, it's the park every week. Tuesday, it's the cinema. I don't go in with her, I wait outside because, for a very simple reason, that it's subtitles. Wednesdays then is Knightsbridge for shopping, all the expensive shops. We go into every one of them and she cleans them out with stuff, and she'll always have a theme. It was Western clothes this week, Western clothes. We get back, then we lay them out on the snooker table, and then she'll try them on. She'll go into another room, try it on, walk in, and I do a little tune, like it's a fashion show, like a catwalk. It's fun. It is fun. I have a laugh. And then Thursday, which is today, I take it all back. Apparently they don't take underwear back, which is, you know, fair enough. That was Melanie from the SS. Normally, I would say of Melanie, a very, very sensitive woman, very attuned to what's going on. So a bit of a shock. She's spoken to Marion and to find out if Jeff is coming to the meeting because he's missed a few meetings, and she said that Marion said that she didn't know. She didn't know where Jeff was, which, you know, busy man. And then Melanie asked me if I thought that Marion and Jeff were happy. Of course they are. You don't go through what they've gone through if you're not going to be happy at the end of it. I said to her, they're a fairy story. You don't, fairy tale romance. Cinderella doesn't wake up one day, or Rapunzel, or, you know, the three billy goats. They don't wake up and go, well, maybe you're not my perfect prince. It doesn't happen. And of course they're happy. Of course they are. I just dropped Mrs. Tripolin off. She likes to have a walk around the park on her own, bit of time to herself. Takes her about 40 minutes. So I drive around and meet her at the other end. She's not very strong. A while ago, I was waiting for her in the park and no sign, so I hot-footed it across. And she was on a bench all pale and sweating, and she'd actually passed out because she does like a fatty diet. She likes all soup, very watery soup, cabbage. And I said, right, come on, you come in with me. And I took her to, well, you'd call it a greasy spoon. I say a traditional cafe. They grill everything. And we had two big breakfasts, big English breakfasts. And she tucked into it, you know, quite ferociously. The only thing she left was left the mushrooms. She said she wasn't going to have those because they're fungal. That's right, I I said did the joke about the why are mushrooms fungal at a party? That's not right. Why do you want mushrooms at a party? Because they're fungal. Not it again. Why is I'm absolutely useless at jokes. Why are mushrooms good to have at a party? Because they're fungi. They're fungi. They're fungi. Fungi to be with. They're fungi to be with. It's not even a good joke when you remember it. To be honest with you, it's not a corker. Anyway, cut a long story short, we went back then to the house, and she was very tired. She fell asleep in the car, in the back. Fell asleep. I picked her up and took her into the house, carried her into the house, put her down on the sofa, just like I used to do with Reese and Alan, my little smashers. Covered her with another blanket, and I left her to go and get Fisher. And that was a lovely day. That was a very, very restful day. I'm just going to pick up Fisher now, and I have a little trick that I used to do on my boys when they were feeling a bit, you know. Works every time. Ooh, I could do that for hours. Ooh. Clears the passages. Here he comes. Here he comes. Well, well, well. What a fantastic morning. What a lovely time. I took Mrs. Tripolin, Catherine, to the park, but in a step that was unprecedented, said unnamed sources, I stayed with her, and we just had a nice time together. She said, you know, she takes a picnic with her. She said, there's enough for two. Why don't you stay? And we did. We just put a rug down, got all the stuff out. I mean, it's lovely stuff. It's proper glassware and everything. And we had a picnic. It was like the famous five. I said to her, I said, look at us. We're like the famous five. That's what I said. So we were sitting on the blanket. It's funny how things change, because when I started this job, I had the lion's share of the talking. I used to talk and talk. She's a very quiet woman. But today, I couldn't stop her. About America mostly, how much she misses it, all about Miami in particular, and she was painting lovely pictures of Miami, and I just drink it in. I mean, I love all that, and for me it's like a holiday without having to go. And we looked at each other and we did something. All right, we did something a bit silly. We climbed a tree, whoosh, and we were at the top looking at the view. It was lovely. I'd not done something like that since I was a child. And that was when she said to me, I'm stuck. I've just had a call from Mrs. Tripolin, bit of an emergency. I could hardly hear her voice. She was quite upset. It's a problem with the washing machine. So I said, no problem, I'm on my way. Because washing machines are actually my specialist subject, because one of my first ever jobs was in a washing machine factory, a Japanese one. They're actually very simple to understand. We used to say it's water in, water out, and what goes on in between is nobody's business. But okay, bit of underwiring from a lady's bra, stuck inside, gets in the extractor pipe, fluff fills up, and that's it. You get a backdraft plumbing equivalent of a backdraft. And if you've seen the film, you'll know how horrible that can be. So it's fine. I went up and told her. She was in her room lying down. I didn't mention the stuff about the bra, and she's surprised. She started crying. Floods of tears, and I gave her a tissue and I said, hey, we've had one flood. We don't want another. Which was nice. She wasn't expecting humour, and she surprised me because she said, well, could I stay for the night? I think she's a bit scared. I said, look, lightning doesn't strike twice, just as well because of electric and water don't mix. But I always carry this with me, thank goodness, an overnight bag. I got everything in here. I got a toothbrush and pyjamas and a little Bible. It's a Gideon, so we should be fine. But I'll go and kip down in there now so everybody's happy.
Run away, find you a lover, go away somewhere all bright and new. I have seen no other who compares with you.
Good morning, good morning. Close it quietly. Fascinating. Number one, I met the nanny, Marita, Puerto Rican, lovely girl, dark skin, like a Bond girl, you know, the one with the knife, Rosa Klebb. We all sat around the table together. We had a dinner together. Lovely, like a big family, all chatting away. Actually, we weren't chatting away. We weren't chatting because we were all chewing. We were all chewing away because we were eating meat substitute, which is part of Mrs. Tripollin's diet. There was a lot of chewing, very, very stringy, very, very chewy. Not a lot of flavour. It was very nice. Then the nanny took Fisher up to bed, and Mrs. Tripollin and I went into the living room and sat on the big sofas. She showed me her photo albums. Her family were farmers in America. That's where they all hail from. So I said to her, how many acres? And she said they used to have a spread, which is what they call it in America, roughly the size of what is now known as Texas. Although it's smaller now, she said it's roughly the size of Wales. Which was lovely because that sort of included me, you know. It would have been about 11 o'clock. And I was sitting there looking at a photo of Mrs. Tripollin as a child sitting on a heifer when, thwack, I felt a tennis ball in the back of my head. I thought, here we go. I looked round and there's Fisher standing in the doorway in his pyjamas, Star Wars pyjamas, throwing balls at me. I said, come here, young man, because I've done this with my boys. I said, who wants to climb on Keith's shoulders? Well, his eyes lit up. Straight up, I said, right, I'm going to run up these stairs with you. That was a mistake. 3 floors. Very tiring. But I got him to the top, to his room. He directed me to the room. He said, left a bit, right a bit. Well, he was actually kicking like you would a horse. And he was exhausted by now. I could tell that he was very tired. And I used to do a thing that I did with my boys. I said, right, what do we have to report? And that was when, you know, he started with saying how he wasn't very happy at school. Mr. Coffey, his gym teacher, is making him do his gym in his underpants. And I sympathise with that, because I had a very sadistic teacher at school, and I also had to do gym in my underpants. I mean, I can't count on one hand the number of times I had to do that. I nearly can, it was 6. It's made worse by the fact Mr. Coffey also takes him for history. Now, at the moment, you know, he's not making him do history in his pants. But if he ever did try to instill that sort of discipline in the history room, I would take a very dim view and I would have to get involved. See? It's just like people. Once you get to know them, you make a bond, and that bond will never be broken. Eh? Say hello to Bill and Hillary. Say good morning, boys. Morning, good morning. Come on, let's go have some breakfast. Come on, come on. That's her room just there. She was already asleep when I came down from Fisher's room. She'd gone to sleep. She was so tired with the drama of it all curled up on the sofa. I nearly woke her, but in the end I thought, no, let her sleep. So there was a rug, a tartan rug. I put that over her, tucked it all in, you know. I was looking at her. She looked like Audrey Hepburn. Very, very beautiful. She'll be out in a minute. Catherine's asked me to stop for a couple more nights till she feels safe again. That's fine. It's a very big house and you've got to be vigilant. It's not a problem. They're fine about it, Eric and Joan. I've just thrown a few extra things in the old bag. It is an old bag actually. I've had this for, well, it was Marion's. This is the one that she used to play squash with Jeff with, because it's got his and hers. You've got one side and then on the other side, and the two rackets used to nestle in together. I used to say to her, is that how it started? You know, did the rackets fall in love first? What came first, the racket or the man? Catherine does a lot of her sleeping on the sofa, so I got a little present. It's a blow-up pillow, so she doesn't get a crick in her neck. You know, we talk about all sorts of things. I mean, nothing is off limits. She's very, very philosophical, you know, talking last night about loneliness and saying how, and I think this is right, you can be the richest person in the world and still be lonely. And she's a very good communicator. She draws people in. I'm not alone. Last night in the middle of this, I turned around and there was Marita in the doorway, just standing there, you know, just looking at us and just listening. It's parent-teacher night tonight and she's getting in quite a tiz about it, you know. She asked me if I'd go with her. I had to say I'm not Fisher's dad, you know. It went wonderfully. What a fantastic evening. I had a ball. I have to say that Catherine was a little bit jittery, but she took my lead. I haven't been to a parent-teacher evening for quite some time, but it's like riding a bike. Once you're back in the saddle, you're all right. Here's the thing. The gym teacher, Mr. Coffey, I knew him. I knew of him. He's an ex-Welsh international rugby player, Ian Coffey. He was chatting away to me and I was asking him about the gym lessons. He was saying, well, the way he was telling it is that Fisher was entirely in the wrong. And I was right, okay. I let him talk and let him say it. And then I said to him, I said, can I just say, Ian Coffey, his eyes were like that, I think you were fantastic. The way you coped. Because what happened with him was, he came on in the last minute against Western Samoa and dropped the ball. And I said to him, I said, that whole thing, because there was a picture in the Western Mail with a noose, I said, that whole thing would have broken a lesser man. I said, but not you. You stood up to it and you moved away. And once I'd made that connection with him, he changed. Because then he said, I've been a bit harsh with Fisher. He said he's a gifted boy and he needs special handling. I said, Ian, can I call you that? I said, One Cap. He liked that. I said, One Cap, you have read my mind. I said, this is what I wanted to hear. And he said to me, well, I'm sure your wife is going to be pleased as well. And I didn't correct him. We stayed right till the end because they were Viennese sandwiches. And then we left, we got back. I went straight up to Fisher. I said, good news. Told him all about it. Oh, he was jumping up and down on his bed. I said, right, tuck yourself in. I'm going to go and wash my hands. When I come back, we'll have a story. The time I came back out of the ensuite, it couldn't have been more than 3 minutes. Little fellow was fast asleep. It was honestly one of the nicest evenings I've had for a long time. Really lovely. And I'm looking forward to doing it again. There's another one in 6 months. Oh, this is good. This is very good. Very nice. She's given me a present. To say thank you for last night, which there's no need to do because I enjoyed it more than anyone. It's a CD. Very soothing. She's used it herself with great success. So it's not swinging watches or look into my eyes. It's just a sort of vocal stress-reducing hypnosis. That's lovely. That's lovely. I love a present. Another lovely day.
Run away, go find a lover. Run away, let your heart be your guide. You deserve the deepest of cover. You belong in that home by and by. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong somewhere close to me, far away from your trouble and worry. You belong somewhere you feel free. You belong somewhere you feel free.
Excellent news. Mr. Trapolin is back, which is good. Very good. I actually forgot to give this to Mrs. Trapolin, but that doesn't matter. It's not a high priority, and not now, really. Right. It's off to work we go.
Soon, you will begin to recognize how every manifestation of tension is an invitation to relax, to let go, and you will establish a new, powerful habit.